Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us once again on the Spy Shack podcast. And we are joining you right after our Survivor New Zealand recap. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and head out after this episode and check it out and let us know what you guys think. We're on two sides of the spectrum on Survivor New Zealand, but I think we're all on the same track here for Survivor Game Changers. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Mark. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
And Randy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I tried to steal Saul's hosting job, but it was non-transferable, so I didn't get
that. Kim is not going to be here with us once more. She's I'm not sure if she'll be with us next week or not. But everybody, once again, just keep her in your thoughts. Yep. If you're on Twitter, you'll know what's going on. Keep her in your thoughts and tweet out support for her.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So double boot episode of Survivor leading up to the finale of Survivor Game Changers. It feels like we got here so fast. It felt like there was a lot of stuff going on at the very beginning with everybody attacking everybody. A little bit might have been a little bit of low here in the last couple of weeks, but actually the last 2 weeks I feel have been pretty good.
Absolutely. The absolute opposite of Survivor New Zealand this week. There was so much action this week. It was going quickly and things were happening and I was trying to keep up.
There was no beach and all tribal.
I was all for it though. I loved it. I really liked this episode.
Yeah, we start off right off the bat from after the Sierra vote, and we see Cirie, Aubrey, Andrea kind of looking at each other and kind of talking to each other about, hey, did you all notice Sarah? Which I said was a good play on her part for showing Sierra that she was like, oh, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
However, I think Randy pointed it out, and Andrea looked at her. She was like,
Andrea caught that right away and was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So, any thoughts on the three girls pointing out Sarah to each other, pretty much?
I think they really didn't think too far into it because they didn't know about the legacy advantage. They've never seen a legacy advantage. It was really just jury pandering, I think, to them. They thought that's all Sarah was doing. So, yeah, they caught her, but for a different reason.
And I'll come back to what you said about the jury pandering and the legacy advantage and her acting, because I feel like this was the first episode I started getting worried about for Sarah, but I think the end kind of fixed it for me. So yeah, right after that we go to tribal. Not tribal. We don't have an immunity challenge. They go straight to tribal. No, we go to immunity challenge, which is the balancing card tower, which we've seen it. I feel like it's I could say it's a classic, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
With Cochran having the best time at this at 15, 16, or 17 minutes, something like that.
17
minutes, yeah. So Cochran is the reigning champion up to this point, with Aubrey fangirling on him and saying her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw this.
As she said, going back to it, from her original season, she's the love child of Sophie and Cochran. That's when she was in Co Wrong, and that was how she described herself. So thinking back to that, that's pretty great.
Could you imagine if it would have been Aubrey on Exile instead of?
Oh, that would have been so fun. That would have been so fun.
I think all of our brains would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that what I saw is I was going to Twitter today. I saw Cochran actually tweeted a screenshot or a Snapchat or something of that moment, and with a little smiley face with little hearts in their eyes.
It was
great moment. I think it was pretty good. So yeah, what do you guys think? How people? I don't even think people had a chance in this. I don't think anybody had a chance. I mean, I saw a lot of it happen. A lot of people had a couple of towers. Michaela never even changed her strategy. She did the same tower buildup. Who was it? Was it Andrea or was it Aubrey who ran out of cards? Aubrey ran out of cards, right?
Aubrey did run out of cards, yeah, but she was smart the way that she ran out and then kind of saw that she was about to run out and worked her way back pretty calmly.
And she did it. She went down right to
the perfect amount. Yeah.
Yeah. Aubrey wins immunity in record time. She did it in I believe it was less than 6 minutes.
Yep.
And so she's the new reigning champion of this particular challenge.
That would be hard to beat.
Yeah. So we go to pre-tribal. Actually, there's not a lot of stuff that happened in this episode, but there's a lot of things to talk about here, I believe. Or at least a lot to talk about.
Yeah, really, when they go back after tribal, there's lots of different after immunity, there's lots of different discussions from a lot of different people, but it's pretty obvious that there's 3 main targets potentially at this tribal council. It's either Andrea, or it's Sarah, or it's Brad. It's one of these 3. Everyone kind of has their own opinions of why they think it should be. I really thought, well, going into this episode, as we said last week in our episode, I said double boot. We're going to lose Andrea and then either Aubrey or Troyzan. That was my thought going into this. Right before tribal, I didn't think we were going to lose Andrea. I really thought we were losing Brad.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. The whole Michaela going to Brad and telling her, I think you should fish. It kind of played differently than what we were led to believe was going to happen in.
How was that blackmail?
Yeah, well, I think from Brad's point of view, she was saying, "Go fish, or we're going to vote you out." But from Michaela's point of view, I think she was just saying, "Go fish because you're getting voted. You might get voted out, and we need."
I'm hungry. Go get me food for while you're gone.
Which I think points to something that we've been talking about. Michaela, she's not very self-aware of how she says things and how she comes off to people. I know she's very blunt, and like I like Michaela. I love Michaela. It's just that she is very self-aware of how she's coming across to other people, and even when she knows how she's coming across, she has no way to fix it.
I agree.
Anything else happened right before tribal council here?
Nothing too much. They jump right to it.
It's Sari, right? Right before we go to tribal council, Sari's the one that says, I can use Sarah because she's losing a lot of ground in the jury. So I think Andrea is more of a threat.
Yeah.
And I mean, Andrea is a casualty of Sari. And Sari is, we've seen her take out a lot of power hitters in her Survivor history. Mm-hmm. And we start to see that happening in this episode as we go to tribal, the first tribal of the episode. What do you all think of Jeff going and asking Aubrey? I believe he asked, was it Aubrey and Ty? How do you think?
I loved it. I know what you're gonna say. What do you think the jury will reward? And I think it was great, especially to Aubrey and Ty, because this is right after the Co-Wrong finale aired. This is just weeks after they lost. So it was really interesting seeing these 2 losing finalists give their opinion of what a jury will reward.
It's so crazy that that's so close together to when it aired to what they went out there again.
Oh yeah, it was real quick.
Because Millennials versus Gen X filmed while Co-Wrong was airing, and of course Co-Wrong was filmed a year before it came out. This is start getting confusing, I think. And then after Gen X, Millennials versus Gen X finished, 2 weeks later, this started. So it's very weird how close together all these seasons are, and even for someone like, I guess, Millennials versus Gen X, I don't know, like they didn't really get to see Co-Wrong, did they?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about that. I wonder how much Zeke and Michaela got to see Go Wrong.
I'm sure
Not to
they.
the end, I don't think.
I don't think they saw the finale.
Yeah, but the finale. No, they would have been. They would have been there for the finale. It's the early part, and they probably caught up to. I'm sure at least Zeke caught up to it while he could, because he knew he was going out there. So I'm sure he somehow caught up in that 2 weeks or whatever. But yeah, that's interesting.
I hadn't even started thinking about that until you said that right now. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So yeah, we kind of didn't really answer the question. We kind of got sidetracked here. What do you guys think of the answer that both Aubrey and Tice talked about? Because they actually went on the opposite end of how they believe the jury's going to go.
Yeah, I thought, because if I remember correctly, Aubrey said kind of friendship. She kind of focused on building relationships, while Ty said, well, they're going to vote for whoever plays the best game, which is kind of, I think, interesting, thinking back to the Michelle Fitzgerald of everything, and where that, I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. I think they both had good answers. I thought both the answers were good. I think I like the way Aubrey worded hers.
I think Aubrey would like the jury to vote the way that would benefit her, because from what we've seen, I'm sure the editors have been fixing this so we can't see what's going on at the end. And I wonder, because I've been hearing a couple of seasons already, that the editors like to say there is no winner's edit. There is no such thing as a winner's edit. And I wonder if this season, since we already knew the players, if they're throwing us a curveball and say, there you go, there's your winner's edit. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. That's what I've been saying since the beginning, is that I think in returnee seasons, there's no such thing as a winner edit. Because I think that it's very much, we know these people, we know their stories, so they're going to show us this game. And I think Aubrey is a really interesting case for it, because of how strong of a game she played in Go Wrong, how she seemed like such a winner in Go Wrong. And now if they kind of show her as a loser this season, but then she ends up winning, it could be interesting.
Yeah, and there was a whole thing on Facebook, previously on Survivor Facebook page, where people were like, what's going on with the season? What's and I goes, there's no way Aubrey could win. I'm like, well, wouldn't it be? And I go, I think I said it a couple weeks ago, the whole taking the winner strategy into your season. I go, what if they're taking the edit from Aubrey's season and giving it to her in this season that she actually wins? That would be interesting, but we don't know. We don't know what the producers are thinking when they're editing this. I think they're just trying to play with us right now.
Yeah.
At the end of Tribal Council, Andrew gets 6 votes. Brad gets 2 votes.
And Andrea awkwardly tickles 3. That was real weird. That was real weird.
I think it was being like, oh, I trusted you. And
it was an, oh, you got me kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think she worded it really well. I think it was in her Ponderosa video, where she makes a comment about how both Sarah and Cirie lied to me. Both of them did. But for some reason, the way that Sarah did it makes me feel really icky. But for Cirie, I'm like, oh, she got me. Oh, Cirie. And she feels good with it. And I think that's a common thing with Sarah right now.
Yeah. So, that, like I said at the beginning, this is the first episode I'm like, oh, crap, her game is falling apart at the very end. And I'm like, dang it. But I think there's a prepare at the end of this episode only because I would think Cirie would have screwed her over more, because she went up to Cirie and said, Sarah's doing this, we need to get her out, and Cirie said, no, I'm gonna get you up because I can use her. To me, that's more of a backstab than Sarah, because Sarah, at least she's doing it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone has watched the Jury Speaks videos. Those have been very interesting.
I haven't been able to. the whole web stuff, I've been not been able to watch any of it at all.
I'll find you some links. Because they're after every tribal, they talk to all the jury members individually, and they kind of give, I think this person's doing good, or there's no way I'll vote for this person, or it's one of these 3 people, or those are really interesting.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I've never even caught wind of these videos.
Oh yeah.
I remember liking this in the very first couple seasons when they would do this at the finale. Before they went to the final tribal, they would do the confessionals, and they'd be like, "How are you going to vote?" And they would talk about what they considered.
Yeah.
Right now, there's too many players still left at the finale for them to do this, so I feel like this is the perfect way to do it.
They've done it after so this week they came out with 2 sets, one after each tribal council, just sitting down talking to them. It's interesting hearing them all coming from their different perspectives, where some people saying there's no chance these people have no chance of winning, or I hope it's this person. So we'll talk a little bit more about that after the second tribal council. I'll kind of bring some of those up, but if you haven't checked those out, do it, because those are real interesting.
Yeah. So something that I would like for this to happen like this again, maybe not in this season because it's an all-star season, but we talked about at the beginning of the season was the rites of passage. Do something like this for the rites of passage where we get to see it at the end. I don't really need to see it for an all-stars, but for newbies, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Post-tribal. Aubrey, look, I've been saying yes, Aubrey might be getting the Michelle edit and all that, but she's been on the wrong side of the vote so many times this season. That's her edit this season. She has not been on the right side of the numbers all season.
Let me look at my stats here, what I have for her. She has been to 11 tribal councils and voted for the right person 6 times.
Oh, she's doing a lot better than I thought she was.
She has the lowest percentage of the remaining 6.
From what I think Sarah is the only one that's voted right every single time from post-merge.
She missed one. She missed the Haley one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But if you count her voting for Michaela twice, then she's 9.
Wow. So if you think of it that way, if she and at the end, if Sarah can talk and actually express her game, I think she might be okay. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit here.
Yeah.
So Aubrey's crying. Aubrey's really not having it. I mean, time after time she gets close to somebody, that person ends up getting booted. And Ty notices, and we finally see Ty and Aubrey get back together, where we have no inkling that they're even talking on the island.
Mm-mm.
And Ty talks to her, and he's like, "I have to go make her my friend. I gotta make her like that." And then I think Aubrey right away is like, "I gotta vote him off."
Sari sees it.
Well, Sari notices it, but Aubrey just says it for her game. She needs to vote Ty off. I don't get that one, but
he does make that comment later, which I thought was really weird. But I really liked seeing Sari immediately going, "Oh, that's a problem. I need to take care of that." So I thought that was just seeing how perceptive Sari is.
Sari's like that picture you see in the old Scary Mansion with the eyes that just like
they just keep following you.
Yeah, they keep an eye on you.
I think Aubrey also thinks that they're the final pair from the same season, and so people are gonna link them together and try to target them. And so if she makes the first move to aim at Ty, then the target wouldn't be on her.
No, I think we've talked a lot about the Korong 4, and I think when there's 6 people left, the Korong 2 is pretty strong.
Yep.
I remember Sandra's the one that pointed it out before the game even started. We need a target.
She wanted Aubrey out from the beginning.
Yeah. And if Aubrey goes in and wins this, she's going to be like, "I was right. You should have taken her out."
Yep.
And I can see her pointing it out. Even if Jeff doesn't ask her, I can see her getting in the I mean, Sandra's going to get a question, right? She has to get her a question. Notes here. Immunity. Do you guys like this challenge for immunity?
I always like this challenge. I think the pole is kind of interesting, getting the water, being up there. I love the puzzle. I think the puzzle is great. I think that's a fun puzzle to do. Us as the viewers can see it pretty well. We can see it develop. We can see where someone's screwing up. Oh, there's a hole at the bottom. We see how difficult it can be. I think it's a good all-around challenge. This is one of the ones that I like.
Wasn't there? I don't know if it was the American version or was the Aussie version where someone hacked the key part where they were able to figure out to do it a little bit different, so where they were able to get the key out a lot faster.
Yeah,
I think it was their hand. I think their hand fit all the way in.
Maybe I don't remember exactly that one, but I do always like this challenge.
I think it was code wrong for some reason.
The puzzle was great. The whole standing on the pole kind of with the bucket kind of thing was meh.
Yeah,
for me.
Just think of Suri having to jump off the little edge.
She just like scoots off the end.
Yeah, she was like, "Why do I keep doing this to myself?" I'm starting to think there's more of a Suri winner edit there, but we'll see. I wouldn't be mad if Suri won.
Be so happy.
Yeah.
So the immunity challenge, the first part, everybody gets their key. Suri's one of the last ones to jump off and start her puzzle. Michaela's the first one, and I feel like she is the one that's doing horrible at the puzzle right off the bat.
Oh, she's bad at puzzles, and she'll admit it.
But she's the first one to do the damn thing. I got it. And no, it was like the little pointers
were awful.
The pointers,
yeah, they were flipped, I believe.
If you watch the Ponderosas, I don't know if you've seen those. There is a hilarious part in her Ponderosa of her reenacting it to Zeke, of her thinking she has the puzzle. Oh my gosh, Jeff, I got the puzzle, and then getting it wrong, and then just kicking it when she was. It's really really funny clip because she's just so just exaggerating like crazy of how excited she is, and then just kicking the puzzle. Oh, that's a really good one for anyone to watch.
What do you think of her kicking the puzzle?
It's Michaela.
It's typical Michaela.
I just hear, Michaela, calm down.
I wonder if she heard anything back while her mom was watching this, and she's like, "Michaela, why did you do that?" Yeah. So this is really what she needed. She needed this win big.
Yep.
So Brad wins this challenge. He's able to figure it out. And I wrote it in my notes here. He goes Troyzan on the beach.
Yeah, and then Troyzan's like, oh, oh, wow. Like Troyzan, like he pulls it, this is my island. And Troyzan so like caught off guard, like, what is he doing? He's exaggerating. What? Why is he so angry? Like, just it's so funny seeing Troyzan he did the same thing. I thought that was great.
I started laughing, and my wife looks like, "Why are you laughing?" I go, "Because Troyzan did the same thing at his season."
That was really funny.
Back at camp, what I don't remember exactly what happens before the tribal, but there's a lot of I know there's a lot of talking about what's going to happen. Oh, we get this. You've seen this meme, right? Where you got a picture of someone and it's got all these math equations and stuff like that. I kind of saw that happening I saw the meme with Ty, with that thing when Suri's talking to him. But for me, I saw that with Suri when she was trying to figure out what to say, what to do to entice Ty to do this.
I thought her confessionals were so just genuine and real of like her just kind of looking down at the rocks like, can I do this? What, like, how can I really pull this off? Like, I thought that that's what I love about Suri is that she's just like, I think I can really do something here. And I thought that was cool.
If she would have pulled this off,
oh wow,
I would have crowned her the strategic queen of Survivor, because this would have been the second time that she not only just changes the whole role and what's going to happen, because she did it in Micronesia.
Yeah,
and she would have been here.
It would have been even bigger if she used it against Sarah.
Yeah,
that's where I thought we were going. At first, that's where I thought we were going, is that she was giving it to Suri and then Suri was going to use it against her. That's really what I thought she was going was, and then they were going to end up voting for Sarah. But
we'll talk about the whole fine print on that.
Non-transferable gate.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the whole thing, right? Sarah says, "I'm not going to vote against Ty." Aubrey is just filling your brain with things. Suri says, "We need a vote off Ty." I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're kind of getting to it, but was Sarah telling Suri about the advantage the right move? Because she gave it to her as a sign of trust, I guess. But I just don't know if that was right. I know some people have been talking highly of how that was such a great move by Sarah to give it to Suri, knowing that Suri couldn't really use it. But I just don't know if that was the right thing to do.
The moment it happened, I didn't think that was a smart move. And she knew what happened to Sierra. She did that to Sierra. And why would she now pull this move?
She doesn't know. She doesn't know that about the legacy advantage with Sierra.
Okay.
No, she only told her about the double vote, but she said it and she told her about it. Like, I'm gonna give you this, and she even tells her, if something happens, you're gonna stay with it. Which I don't know if Suri would have been able to use it if she got voted off. But she gave it to her for trust. I don't know if it was the right move or not. This is where I'm starting to get to when I said earlier. I think I can see a little light at the end of the tunnel for my game, at least for Sarah. But even though I wouldn't mind if Suri won. We go to the tribal, and this whole madness ensues again in tribal, where everybody's getting up, everybody's talking. We talked about it earlier in the season when it first happened. What do you guys think of part 2? This happening in tribal? Would you be upset if this keeps happening from now on?
People love to talk to Brad at tribal. People love, because that's both of them. It started both with getting up to talk to Brad. That's how it all started the first time with JT. And I think the best part about it was Michaela kind of like boxing out Troyzan, which was pretty great. I was a fan of that one. I thought that was really great. I liked the tribal. I thought it was good. I wish we knew what they were saying a little bit more, because there was a lot of talk, but we didn't know what they were saying, which I didn't really like. But I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was entertaining. Yeah.
At what point do you think this turned on Michaela?
The second that Brad had any decision. I think Brad and Troyzan were always planning on voting for Michaela. I think that was always going to be their move. I guess the only thing I could think of is that Sarah could have potentially saw her as, you're Suri's number 2, and I don't want Suri to have that power, but I don't want to get rid of Suri. I think
it's crazy that she doesn't want to give her Suri, though.
I think she thinks she can still use Suri a little bit, but she doesn't want to. She wants to weaken Suri, but not eliminate Suri. I think is what it kind of comes down to.
I think that's part of it, as well as not wanting to get a Suri. But I think she ended up taking on Michaela because she didn't think Michaela had any idols or any advantages.
I do think there's a lot to do with that.
So I think she decided to go with the safe vote. I think when she went over to Ty said, she told Ty, "I'm gonna take your vote. Do not use your idol. I'm not gonna vote for you. Trust me."
But in all this, Suri could have made this happen without doing that, without using the advantage. I think she could have done this without that. I think that was such a waste. She wanted to make a big move for the jury. I get it. You want to be seen as the one in charge. I get it. But what you're doing is you're using a risky thing that Sarah didn't give to her until she was entering tribal council, so she didn't get a chance to read it. That's been confirmed. But you're also immediately having to cause the whole thing with Ty of tipping him off, which if you wouldn't have used this advantage thing, you could have still worked it and got rid of Ty, and he would have been gone with 2 idols in his pocket, and I would have been celebrating. because I still thought Ty was going to be the first person eliminated this season. But I think Cirie got a little bit too much of a showboat on this one. I think she wanted to make a show for the jury, and she got shut
She became Icarus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Troyzan tweeted, "Should I get any credit for pointing out to Sarah
Yeah.
the non-transferable?"
He's the one who said it. He said it first.
Josh Wigler had his post exit interview, and Michaela, what is it? He pointed out on Twitter. Troyzan said that he's the one who pointed it out, that non-transferable. Michaela said, "No, this is what happened. Sarah pointed out the non-transferable. Here's the deal. Sarah's real smart. She told Cirie in the middle of the day that she would give her the advantage, but didn't give it to her until moments before tribal council, making her unable to actually read the fine print. And it's pretty long here, so I'm not gonna read it all. So it gets to the point where it says that even Jeff was like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
he made it seem like he didn't know. Made Cirie read it, and when Cirie wrote it, is when Troyzan pointed it out again.
It says, she just said non-transferable.
Yeah.
So you're saying you haven't been blocked by Troyzan? You're one of the few, because a lot of people have been.
No, I have not said anything about it.
Well, be careful.
Jessica was blocked by Troyzan.
So was Wigler. So was Dalton Ross, I think. Like, there's a few of them that have been blocked by him.
Well, I don't think he's paying attention to our show.
I swear he searches his name on Twitter, though. That's why people have been writing his name with like a star in it, so you can't search for Troyzan. Like they replace the O with like an asterisk, so he can't search Troyzan and find the bad tweets about him.
We haven't really.
Yeah, Bloomberg. Thank you, Patty. David Bloomberg was blocked by him.
Oh God.
Oh, okay.
Troyzan,
Well,
what are you doing?
It is what it is. I had said before, I didn't hate Troyzan. I actually liked Troyzan in One World up till his little pre-Brad moment. But I thought it was funny that Brad did the same thing, and he was kind of like, "Hey, you're pulling my shtick here." And how did you think she handled it? She didn't have any theatrics for this instant because she had no idea what was going to happen.
No, her Ponderosa was so bizarre. She's just smiling and laughing and giggling the whole time. She lost like 20 pounds, I think it was. She lost a lot of weight. It was weird. Like, she was just so like even like Haley back at Ponderosa is like, why are you so happy? And I think she just appreciates the game and appreciated the adventure that she just had twice in the summer. I don't know. I love Michaela.
I think she broke.
I think so too. I think she was exhausted. She's not great at the game, but she's a great character.
Even her exit a little bit when they're showing all the votes, she was just smiling. I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay, that's. I didn't know what to take from that, but it was really weird. I don't know what I don't know if how well she'll do on a third time around. I'm pretty sure she's entertaining enough for her to come back around. I don't know if she picked up enough skills to win.
You know, she's been on game mode for so long, and the moment she was voted off, you can see that relief when she started smiling again. And then, you know, it was at that point you realize that she's been under a lot of pressure between the two seasons, and you know, I don't blame her for for being that uptight during this season, because it was a lot of returnees and it was a lot to handle, a lot of pressure. She needs a few years off before she comes back again.
Yeah, I think she'd be good for like a fans versus favorite season, because she's a good type of female player where she's strong but not too much of a game bot and not seen as too strategic. So I think the other returnees would like her with that, as long as she can control her attitude.
Or Blood versus Water with her mom.
Yeah, exactly. Blood versus Water with Mama Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's some potential there, but I think she wants to take some time off.
Yeah.
So we have Patty in the chat. It's been a pretty silent chat today, but it kind of came to life here.
Patty has some good ones.
She said Michaela should have brought Brad and Troy along and to vote off Ty. Brad's going to punish Ty for hoarding all the idols and not flipping the game a long time ago, which he really could have done a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
She pointed out that David Bloomberg's the one that got blocked. And she said, shh, don't tell her because I'm not blocked yet. So I didn't hear about this. Did Michaela pee outside of the medical tent?
It's in the Ponderosa, so she would weigh even less when she weighed in. She's like, "Oh, I want my real weight. I'm gonna go bathroom," and she goes behind the medical tent and goes to the bathroom.
And Doug, who's been quiet today, just commented Mick Bela. So he clearly likes Michaela.
Don't tell Doug that I trashed on the Survivor New Zealand player. He can listen to that himself.
Yeah, go see the Survivor New Zealand episode. So yeah, so this is what I was saying, that I feel like Sarah's in trouble at Final Tribal if she makes it right now. At the same time, if she makes it with Suri, the only slither of hope, and the reason I'm hoping is because I don't want to place last here in our what am I trying to say here? Our draft. I'm starting to break up.
You're not finishing last because she's definitely making it past 6. So she's at least getting some points there because she has the legacy advantage. I will accept my place as last place, even though all the viewers said I was going to win. My whole team has been eliminated now. I will take last place, but I don't think Sarah's gonna win. So I think Sarah is going to be our fallen angel of the season and place 4th place.
4th place. Wow. Okay.
I don't think she makes it to Final Tribal.
Dang it. Well, so like I said, this is the first episode that I started seeing it break apart for her. And at the end, I was like, well, maybe she makes it Suri. She might be able to pull. I fooled Suri into thinking she can do this. I use this. Vote for me because I played the game. I played Game Changers. And, and hopefully she would take it. But I have no qualms if Suri goes all the way and wins it, because I feel like she deserves it. She's gotten close before, and I think if she makes it to the final, this is definitely hers.
Do we think the stunt that she pulled with the second tribal is gonna hurt her in the end?
She might lose a vote from Sarah if Sarah gets voted out and is in the jury. But I don't think it's gonna cause too much trouble, other than possibly if Ty's in the jury.
No, after seeing with the as I was saying earlier about the jury speaks, they are very high on the women. All three women, in all honesty, of Sarah, Suri. Obviously, Sarah, Suri at the top. I think right now, the jury sees them as the 2 top players. They see Suri as really the one making the decisions behind the scenes. But Sarah's played such a good game. They all know how she manipulated Sierra to give her the advantage, because they've talked about that at Ponderosa. But they are turned off a little bit by the way that she's played the game and some of the personal things. A lot of people have given Aubrey a good amount of credit for surviving the way she has and basically battling. And I think it was in Zeke's words Brad, Troy, and Ty have no chance. And if those three are the final three, I'm worried for this season. So I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. Those videos are great. It's so interesting hearing, and I think these are the last ones we're gonna get because obviously there's next week's the finale, so we'll probably get some sort of this was like the jury reflects things that we've gotten before, but this is what we have to go on. We have the 6 current jurors out there. Well, yeah, 6 because Michaela hasn't made one yet to give their opinion of where we are. I think. I think a woman's winning this season.
So let me ask you this: in the Ponderosa, I haven't seen any Ponderosa for the jury.
Mm-hmm.
Do they show them talking about the game to each other?
A little bit, not too much.
Snippets.
Little snippets. You see, I think Andrea and Zeke. It sounds like they're talking about it a lot. By the way, they're good. They kind of there was no too bad of feelings there. But they've talked about it a little bit. It was interesting seeing Sierra talk about the legacy advantage to everyone and kind of what she did and that she chose Sarah, and that was interesting. I think between those and the jury speaks, there's some interesting information out there.
Okay, I was thinking maybe they're telling them, tell us what you think about the jury. Don't talk to each other. Tell us exactly what you think.
Well, they're probably doing that a little bit. Yeah.
That way they get, and that little thing that Wiggler had talked about a couple weeks ago, when they said he believes that they might have done something to help reduce the bitter jury thing. That might be it, where they're saying, don't talk to each other, guys. Don't talk directly to us. We'll like that.
Well, that could be why they're doing the jury speaks. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. Patty says that Zeke will pander for Sarah and state her case to the jury.
Yeah, absolutely. He has stood up and said that she would be a great representation of a winner of Survivor Game Changers.
And she also said that she believes that Sarah has a chance if Troy and Brad goes in. She actually tweeted this with David Bloomberg was actually, I think it was Bloomberg, talking about this, and oh no, I might get blocked. So I had said, well, if Sarah's playing the Tony game, who's her woo? And he said, I don't think there is a woo. And goes, to me, her woo would have been Ty and Michaela.
Yeah, Ty's woo. Yeah.
But now she needs a second woo, which I would think Michaela. And Patty said, well, how about Troy? And I go, I don't know. People are saying that Troyzan is actually pretty likable. And if they go and they vote off of who didn't piss them off, they might vote for Troyzan, or they might just not vote for Sarah. I don't know.
Troyzan has 8 confessionals after this many episodes. Troyzan is not winning this game. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Hidden edit.
There's no way. That's a bad edit. 8 confessionals after like 13 episodes.
The Sophie edit?
Yeah, that's worse. It's so bad.
That's and one of his things was after talking to Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay. Predictions, guys. Predictions. We've kind of already done this. Let's just put this way: who goes home first next week, and who wins it?
Cirie goes home first next week because she's the only person who doesn't have an idol. I think everyone uses their idols. Ty gives one of his extra ones to Brad. Aubrey wins immunity. Cirie's the last man standing that doesn't have one. I don't think Ty's giving away an idol. I don't know. We see some weird stuff in the next time on.
Yeah.
But so I think Cirie goes first, and I think, I think Brad wins.
Look,
Huh? What?
I do. I think the three women might go. I think it's gonna go. I think it's gonna go Cirie, and then I think I said Sarah's 4th earlier, but she might even go 5th. 5th, and then Aubrey. I don't know. I don't want. As I said, if one of the women make it, they win. I absolutely feel strongly about that. That if there is at least one of the women in the final tribal council, they will win. But I just don't see the path that one of these men go home.
There are too many advantages. I mean,
Yeah.
besides Sarah's legacy that's going to be used
First,
right, in the first tribal, and Time Choice and so has 3 idols, and
I think it's going to be based on between Aubrey and Suri. If one of them are able to win immunity, the other one goes home.
yeah.
And then winning. See, now this is a lot more harder to think about because we're thinking Suri might go home, Aubrey might go home.
That's hard. This is hard.
I said before, I think Brad can win. I said I think Sarah could win based on depending on who she takes, but I think one of her person that she would have won with has been voted out now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if Suri and Aubrey actually go first, then there's a chance that they might vote off Brad just because he would be the last remaining threat out of the 4, the big threat.
Yeah, I think everyone out there sees that Sarah's such a threat.
Yeah,
I think
really?
I think everyone sees it.
Okay.
So I think both Sarah and Sierra came out guns blazing this season because they were among the people who were like, "Why are they here?" So they just really wanted to change that narrative for themselves, and I think the edit really destroyed Sarah last time around because she says, based on what she says that she played hard last time around. We just didn't get to see it.
Well, I think Sarah showed pretty well in her first season. I think that the perception of Sarah before the season was that she got cocky. I think that was Sarah's perception going into this was President Lucina. But overall, if you watch her episode, she's really not bad in Cagayan. She just kind of gets ahead of herself at the merge.
I actually went back and started watching Cagayan just so I can get a more. Because I said at the beginning on our draft, Cagayan is my blind spot. Sarah was the one I knew the least about, and she's the only one I have left on my team. Yeah,
it's a good season.
Yeah. So yeah. What else do we have? Oh, Maze comes back. The Maze is back.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah. They showed the preview. I'm like, yes. And my wife's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I love the Survivor Maze. You don't even get it.
It's the first one. It's the first immunity because you see there's 6 spots.
Yep.
Oh.
I go, this is the type of challenge I want in Survivor.
Agreed.
Especially in the individual part.
I generally always like the Final 4 challenge the best because that's usually like the big epic thing. I think the one I think of is San Juan del Sur was a really cool one. I remember Jacqueline winning that at the Final 4. I just think there's always some really cool production quality to that.
Yeah. I've said it before, Vanuatu Maze, my favorite of all time. So yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Anything you guys want to bring up before we exit the show here? We end the show.
Are we bringing up the draft?
Oh yes, I'm so. I almost forgot.
Oh, Mark wants to talk about the draft. Oh,
Mark, what?
Oh, please,
Mark. We didn't get your final word for Andrea.
Andrea plays hard every single time she comes back, and we've seen this throughout this season. And she's been in control of a lot of the votes, and but she might have shown a little too much of her game, and that's why she's been a target ever since the merge. But this was a spectacular game that she played, and I really appreciated her for what she brought to the show. And I was really sad to see her go. And hopefully she's going to come back again, maybe? We'll see.
Time?
Yeah, she's one of my favorite players of all time. I've always been a fan of Andrea. She was my winner pick this season.
Yeah.
That's awesome that she made it into the 100-day club, which is pretty cool. Because I think there's probably about 10 people or so. So that's pretty awesome that she's made it that far. Because she's played 3 times and 33 days is the least she's ever made it. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I think she's just a great mixture of likable, strategic, and physical. I think she's about the perfect combination of those things.
So, Randy, you can also talk to us about Michaela. I think you were talking a little bit about it. At the same time, you can start showing us the draft.
Yeah, I think Michaela is a lot of fun. She's a great character. She's not a great player, and she'll fully admit it. She needs to calm herself down and maybe grow up a bit, and she could be really good. I think that could be fun to see a more mature Michaela somewhere down the road. Looking at the draft, Mark is in the lead with 152, but with 2 people left, Ty and Troyzan. Keep in mind, he should get some extra bonus points for playing idols here soon. But Kim is very much on his tail, only 5 points behind, with Sari, Aubrey, and Brad, who I think are all better chances of winning than Ty. And think about, I think it's 3 points for making Final Tribal, and then 3 points for every vote they receive from the jury. So I think Kim is looking pretty good here with the 3 that she has, I think. And then I am in 3rd with 98 points, and my team is all grayed out. And Saul is left with 93, only 5 points behind me with just Sarah. And as you see, he earned 5 points this episode, so that shouldn't be too hard for him to win next episode. But I do want to make the strong point, and I made the same point last year with Ken. The legacy advantage is not a hidden immunity idol. So that is not a point for playing an idol because she's playing her advantage.
You're just saying that because I keep trying to get points.
Hey, Ken didn't get points. Ken did not get points last year for when he did his in any draft that I did. So it's the same rule this year.
Okay, so we'll wait for you guys here next week, where we're going to do a recap, and then we're coming back a week after that with Adam Klein, who is going to join us for a all-out review of the season and an interview, as well as see what he says about millennials versus Gen X. So you guys tune in. Adam will be with us next in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yes.
And doing a full recap of the full season of Game Changers.
So excited. So very excited.
All right, guys. So we'll leave it there. Remember to subscribe. Remember to comment, like, share, and do whatever you guys want. Just get us out there and help us get seen by other fans. Okay, so see you guys. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat, and thank you guys for being with us today on the show.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.